Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth and I'm back today to do a special video for Lightworkers. I wanted to record a reading for Lightworkers specifically because I felt like at this time, there's just a lot happening with the energies, and me specifically, I felt like a lot of stuff that I've tried to get done, even recording this video, has been kind of thwarted. Like, the negative energies didn't want me to do this video. I had to actually stop recording for a moment, and I had already laid out a spread, and my first clip that I had tried to do basically was talking about how there was this one time where I was really trying to get to the library so that I could write a letter to myself. I write letters to myself as a way of doing more self-love. And I had tried all day to get there, but I had so many other things that kind of popped up. And so I think that for those of you who are watching, you might have some similar things happen where it's just sort of like, the things that you're trying to do that you really want to get done, maybe you just don't have the time to do it, or like maybe it's clients taking longer than normal, or things taking longer than normal, or like time being really weird. I did a really cool collaboration with Jolito. Those of you who haven't seen it, definitely want to check it out over on her channel. She's a really cool psychic, and we did a collaboration about timeline shifting. And I think that if you're struggling from any kind of anxiety, deja vu, or feeling like time's weird, or you're just trying to get through your day and trying to get stuff done, like it's weird with timeline shift because things can happen so slowly. It can feel like time is moving so slowly, and I've had like days where it's just like, oh, it's so painful, and then at the same time I can't get to the things that I really need to do. For some reason it feels that way. It doesn't have to be where you don't get it done, because to me it's just more of like this feeling of like I really want to get to do something and I just can't quite get there, and my days end up becoming really long, or eating dinner at like 10 o'clock at night. So some of you may have that literally happening, going on. So I just kind of wanted to like remind everybody to like take a deep breath, and even if you're not a light worker, you might also be struggling or suffering from those symptoms of timeline shifts issues, which a lot of times can feel like deja vu, and things can just seem kind of off. And like I do feel, and I don't know why, that things are very off in the energies, off with a lot of people. It doesn't feel right. A lot of things don't necessarily feel right at this time. One of the symptoms that I'm getting is like an energy that I'm picking up from the energies, is that I'm picking up, and I have been picking up, this feeling like I really need to be prepping more. I really need to be planning more. And like there's strong frustration that maybe I don't have the finances to do all the things that I want to do, to prep, to plan, because it's a feeling of like running out of time. And to me, that feeling of running out of time doesn't necessarily have to do with the timeline shift, but it's a concept that maybe some of you might feel or feel strongly. Just this feeling of like pressure that you're running out of time, that you don't have time. And like yesterday, it was like I was emotional like pretty much all day, and like I spent half the day basically in bed. And I finally went out for a walk, and I kind of had like this feeling of like the energy shifting and lifting from me, but at the same time, and I had a lot of good laughs with a friend of mine, but at the same time I just felt overwhelmed, like an overwhelming sense of like I'm running out of time. So some of you may feel that. You really may feel that strongly. Now, I want to talk about the spread that I laid out here, but before I do, I want to say that I am still offering private readings, so you can book a private reading if you'd like to. My website's oracledaphne.com. All the links are going to be in the description box. All donations are really appreciated at this time. I have basically zero income, so all bookings at this time, all donations at the time, literally are support. I'm putting gas in my tank and putting food on my table, and you know, one can only do so much with the Snap. So it's just like, you know, any support at this time, any love, even if it's like $100, it's super, super helpful. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for housing for May, and I still don't know. I don't know. I might have to get, I've been trying to consider roommates, been trying to consider lease takeovers, but at the same time, I still don't have a place to go. So it's just, for me, I have a lot of personal anxiety, but I was like, I wanted to do this reading because I feel like I can't be the only light worker on the planet that feels all that. So yeah. I want to jump in to the card that I feel like is really the linchpin of this whole spread. And it's the Tower as the outcome. And the Tower as the outcome is the ending of something, but it's been a long time coming. It's very rare that I see the Tower in this position, so I find it interesting that I'm doing this very special video, and it doesn't happen very much. Like, the Tower in this position is very rare. So, some of you may be closing a business. Some of you may be ending a relationship. And to me, the Tower in this position is typically the end of a long-term relationship or a long-standing marriage. Something that's gone on for a very long time. Or it's an argument that's been brewing for a really long time. It's not just something like, oh, we are fighting about the dishes, or oh, we're fighting about car insurance. No, this is major endings or a major fight that's significant and that has been brewing for a long time. It's interesting. I do, because we have the World card also showing up, which I actually believe is you, those of you who are watching, or represents you, my Lightworker people. And when I say Lightworkers, this is for, you know, anybody who's watching who resonates with this, but Lightworkers can be, you know, herbalists, they can be acupuncturists, they can be tarot readers, they can be astrologers, they can be, you know, anybody with psychic ability. But when I say the word light work means the ability to visualize, say, like I'm holding in my hand a ball, a pink ball of love, and visualize me sending that pink ball of love to my future self. Snap my fingers. There it is. The ability to do that. And not everybody has that ability. Some people think light workers are psychics, but to me, a light worker, the definition of light worker is visualization and actually working with energy. So, but I'm using it like more in the broad term because I think that a lot of people, especially in the spiritual community, need a little bit of direction at this time. I know that I absolutely was having a rough day yesterday, and so some of you may be having a rough time. You know, the Tower showing up in this reading shows me that, you know, there's some endings that you know, I actually don't feel like it's a bad thing because there's all these other positive cards, but I think that for you it's going to clear the deck, it's going to clear the slate, and I think it's going to be helpful, but it may not be pleasant. I actually think for some light workers, this is actually having visions of something coming to pass. I feel like for me, it's like I started seeing power outages. It's weird. Like I started to actually like wake up in the middle of the night and thinking that and feeling like the power was out, but it wasn't. And I've had my ear is itching. See, that's what it is. So I've had also like visions, or not visions, but feelings of like earthquakes happening. Like I can feel like an earthquake happening on the day that it happened. So some of you may have these visions. Some of you may feel or see or just know that maybe something is coming. And it's interesting because I partnered with Joe Lido. We did a collaboration about timelines, and during that we talked about, you know, seeing some sort of catastrophe coming. And so some of you may see that, and that may be something that scares you, or something that you just see or that you're aware of. I really wanted to get into, I think, a little bit more of some of the advice and things that I can give to lightworkers at this time. But I also want to see what else I see in the cards. There's this spinning thing, this interesting thing. We have the Wheel of Fortune in the center, and so there's this energy of spinning with the Four of Swords. So some of you may have a lot of like energy that's very kinetic, you know, going on, and there needs to be some like peace and like rest and like maybe taking a time out. You know, it's interesting because I normally never spend like time in bed just resting. I mean, I do when I can and when I feel called to, but not like a significant amount of time. So some of you may really feel like you want to take a time out or rest more than normal, or like, especially for empaths, you know, people that absorb a lot of energy, you just may feel like tired at this time, and maybe like you need more rest than normal, or just like low, like your energy is more low. I don't think that like it's the worst thing in the world. You also, oh, here's the Six of Cups. I was waiting to see this. Okay, so when I first laid out this spread, I said, okay, I'm not seeing the Six of Cups. I had this thing come through from my guides about spending time with kids, and I was like, I don't see the Six of Cups, so maybe those of you who are watching don't have kids, but there's just something about kids showing up here, thinking about your kids, spending time with kids, focusing on your family. To me, this is also, you know, the laundry, the dishes, you know, the things around the house, taking the trash out. This is also paying your bills, being responsible, making meals. You know, I think of my grandma, you know, how I used to sit at her kitchen sink when she was doing her dishes or when she was making cookies. And, you know, spending time with your kids. There's something about spending time with your kids, whether you're cooking or baking with them or you're just spending time with them. I'm seeing that. The energy that's going to help you, it's interesting that this is coming through. For those of you who may or may not have kids, it's having a routine. It's staying in a routine. Maybe it's cooking something, maybe it's baking something, and maybe some of you really like to cook and bake. Making something, crafting something, going out to dinner, taking yourself out to coffee or lunch, or something where maybe you go to a restaurant, you meet people, being social, hanging out with friends and family. This is actually a positive thing that you can do at this time. You also may feel very emotional. It's so funny. You know, I was talking about how I was very, very emotional, and I spent a lot of time yesterday in bed, and that was, to me, that was me. So some of you may just feel very overwhelmed or very emotional. But I do see the sun coming in from the outside, and to me, this is one of the best cards in the deck, and in this position, it's really positive. I have a thing about this position when I read the tarot. This position, a lot of times, will show the negativity, will show the things that are coming in that aren't so good. But because we have the Sun card here, even if you have some negative cards to follow, and I see that you do, I still think that you may have this positive, like, you know, like a pocket of time, or at least a day where you feel like more positive. Now, you actually might have like significant mood swings. On some days, you know, you might feel like just really over it and emotional, and you're not having it. And other days, you might feel more positive and optimistic. And it's so weird, when I said positive and optimistic, I felt this like pain in my left shoulder. So some of you, this is a difficult time, you know, and I absolutely can see that. But I don't necessarily think that it's like the worst. This is not the worst spread I've ever seen, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Some of you do need to hang on to some kind of, maybe it's a crystal, maybe it's a gemstone. I'm seeing gemstones where you hang on to a crystal, or you work with more with crystals that helps to balance your energy. I'm also wanting to say you need to hold on to a potential, or to believe that there is potential, or start something new. We've got this Aries energy, which can wreak havoc on a lot of things, because things can pop and come out of nowhere. But the thing about it is that, you know, she's holding this ball of light, and it's so funny. I was talking about holding the ball of love and sending it to my future self, and here she is holding this ball. And I just think that, to me, the Page of Pentacles in this spread to me is about holding on to some hope, or positive seed of potential. You know, I think of this card as a seed of potential. Some of you may have a seed collection, or work with plants, work with seeds. I'm seeing someone with their garden. All of that stuff is very positive. I just feel like any stress like you may have, you need to go maybe outside and plug into the dirt, or focus on your plants, or take some time to really do things that you enjoy. There is some financial concern for some of you, and then others, I actually feel like you might have more of a solid foundation than you think you have, you know? Some of you do have the Ace of Pentacles in the foundation, and so therefore there's money to be had, whether it's coming from people in your life that you don't know, because it's weird. The Ace of Pentacles is in the root of the spread, and to me that touches every other card. So you may have, you know, clients from all over contacting you, customers from all over contacting you, money coming from unusual places or sources. You know, the fact that it's touching every card also means it's touching the Tower card, and the Tower is unexpected. So you could have some unexpected money come through, whether it's an inheritance, or whether it's a donation, or whether it's a partner, or whether it's a family member. There's some unexpected money coming through, and I got a tingle on that. It could also be from something that someone owes you also. Those of you who have a sweet tooth, you know, this is so funny. You might have some cravings at this time, you know, and you might find comfort in food at this time, or things that are sweet. Some of you need to work on your blood sugar, and you need to work on avoiding, you know, sweet things. Some of you do need to work on your throat chakra. You know, I'm seeing throat chakra. This is a card about throat chakra. And some of you need to absolutely get more sleep at night. You're not sleeping at night. Some of you are facing like a Saturn return energy, or just some very difficult energy that makes you fear the poverty consciousness stuff. Like you're fearful of not having anything. The thing is that we have the Ace of Pentacles in the foundation, and that to me indicates money. So there's money. It's just this, like, some of you may need to work on changing your perspective a little bit. You can fortify your immune system with echinacea. We got the echinacea card coming up, and working on your immune system, you know, building up your immune system. Some of you do feel like it's you versus the world, you know, and like you have to be really fierce at this time. You're going to want to take passion flower, like passion flower tea or some kind of tea before you go to bed. That's going to help you relax. That's what I'm seeing. I do actually want to leave off here because I know that I'm going to run out of battery on my cell phone, but I want to post this. Hopefully this will help you guys. I wish everyone the best. You know, I just want to say, you know, you're blessed and things are going to get better. And yeah, I send you a lot of positive energy at this time. And I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. And I will talk to you guys again soon. So stay tuned. All right, take care. Bye.